Hi everyone. Today I'm going to do a practice Regents question that relates to impulse and momentum. So the question says, an unbalanced force of 20 newtons is applied to a mass of 1.0 times 10 to the third kilograms. After 10 seconds, the momentum of the mass will have changed by, and I have to see which answer choice matches. So the first thing I want to do is annotate using cubes. So I'm going to circle the numbers, and they gave me 3 numbers. I'm being careful to circle both the numbers and the units. Then I'm going to underline the unknown, and I'm going to box some keywords. So the first thing that jumped out at me was they're asking me to find the change in momentum because of this word changed. So instead of just writing P equals question mark, I'm going to write delta P equals question mark to show that I'm solving for the change in momentum. Some other words that might help you are unbalanced force and mass, because that kind of tells us what the 20 newtons and the 1 times 10 to the 3 kilograms are. And then I also have T equals 10 seconds. They didn't specifically tell me that this is time, but I know that just based on the unit. So when I go to my physics reference table to look for formulas, I'm mostly looking for something that involves delta P. I could also just look for something with P for momentum, and that would probably be fine. So either or. And I found 2 formulas that might be useful. P equals mv, and this thing, J equals F net T equals delta P. So if I'm looking for P, if I wanted to use this formula, I would need to know the mass and the velocity, and I only have mass, so I won't be able to use this formula. If I look over here, this is interesting because it has 2 equal signs. So that means that I could just take this part, and that's a formula, and I could use that. Or I could take this part, and I could use that. I could even just skip this part in the middle, and I could say J equals delta P, and that would be fine too. So when they put an equation with 2 equal signs, that means that any one of these you can set equal to another part from this equation. So if I'm looking for delta P, they didn't give me any information about J, which is impulse, but I do have a force and a time. They're asking me to plug in a net force, and that totally works here because F equals 20 newtons is just, they said it's an unbalanced force, so that could easily be our net force. So what I'm going to do is just use this section from that formula. And then it's a simple matter of plugging in my numbers. I plugged in 20 times 10, and that's equal to delta P. And then I got 200 kilograms times meters per second equals delta P. And that's my answer. I don't have to worry about mass. It just wasn't part of the formula, and that's totally fine. But none of our answer choices look exactly like this, 200, right? So how do I know? The easiest way, if you're not sure immediately, is to just plug in all of these answers into your calculator and see which one gives you 200. We can probably ignore this 1 times 10 to the 4 just because we know it's going to start with a 1. But if you're not sure, that's something that you can do. And this is what that might look like. 2 times 10 to the 2, and I hit equals, and I get 200. So that works. And so my answer is choice 1, 2.0 times 10 to the 2 kilograms times meters per second.